Good morning to you. It is 7:15 a.m., January 5th, 2022, the 12th day of Christmas. I'm on the East Coast of the United States, and I'm going to talk this morning a little bit about the difference between a Cafe Macchiato, Latte, and Cappuccino. Basically, what I'm going to say is going to be a general idea of what the difference is because, of course, with the internet these days, or even if you went to a library and looked it up in a book, you're going to get different opinions. And maybe you've been a barista, or maybe you go to certain coffee shops and they name certain drinks. They call this a latte or that a cappuccino or whatever. Well, there's different philosophies. Did you know in Italy there's actually an institute for espresso where they give official designations of this is exactly how you make this coffee drink or that coffee drink? But we're not in Italy. So let me say good morning to those of you who are watching. I can't see all the names, but hey, Gary, hello, and Roger, and I can't see the rest of the names, but Happy New Year to you. Okay, so while my milk is frothing, let me turn this on. I have got, oops, there I am. I have got oat milk in here. And I'll tell you this, the best kind of froth is really made with whole cow's milk or a high-fat oat milk, but this should make a decent froth, and oat milk, to me, tastes real good. Okay, so the Cafe Macchiato is a shot of espresso with a little dollop of frothed milk on top. A cappuccino has usually about 1/3 espresso, 1/3 steamed milk, and 1/3 foam, okay? And a cafe latte, which means coffee milk, basically will have several ounces of steamed milk and espresso. And sometimes there's a thin layer of foam on the top. But you know what? I like an espresso with nicely frothed milk. Now, do you know you can actually order a wet cappuccino or a dry cappuccino? Because, you know, if the froth is real smooth and pours easily, that's wet. And if it's very light and foamy and stands up, that's dry. Anyway, I'm making my coffee at home. I can make it the way I like it, right? So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to make something on my Nespresso Vertuo. This is a Forest Variations, a limited edition coffee that came out in the fall of 2021. And this is the Forest Almond. So I'm going to go ahead and brew it here in this 16-ounce recipe glass. And the reason I'm brewing it before I put in my frothed milk is, you know, my usual reason. I don't want it to overflow. So, oh, my frothed milk is ready. Let me go get it. Okay, so this has made, you know, sometimes, I don't know if it's the weather or what, but it's a little bit of a wet froth because it pours. Sometimes it just stands up, you know, just like whipped cream or something. But oat milk has such a good flavor to me. This is not a high-fat oat milk at all. It's only got 0.5 grams of fat in 8 ounces, but it froths up real well. Okay, so here my Forest Almond is going. Anybody get a coffee machine for Christmas? I was going to say for New Year's. Well, during the 12 days of Christmas, I just still love my Nespresso machines, my Vertuo, and So, you know, the whole point of my explaining about the difference between those three coffees is if you're making it at home, make it the way you like it. And if you go to a certain coffee shop frequently, you know, it's okay to ask them how they make it to make sure that you're getting what you think you want. You know, like, do you like a lot of milk in it? Or do you prefer a lot of froth? Oops, I took my little drip guard off because this glass is so tall. Let me stick it back on there now. There we go. So usually with a cappuccino, if you're making it in a glass, a see-through drinking vessel, you're going to see layers. It's like that. And we put a nice little few dollops of foam on the top. But before you drink it, you're gonna stir it up. Or else all you're gonna get is a snoot full of foam. Oh. Oat milk foam, I love it. So, you know, you wanna be careful. You don't wanna end up sticking your nose in and getting a foamy nose. Anyhow, okay, let me taste this. So this forest almond has sort of a nutty, biscuity sort of flavor, like almondy, vanilla. Takes a little bit to be able to, let me kind of suction some of that coffee up through the foam. Oh, Lori says she's having forest almond right now. Oh, and hey, good morning, Kevin. I'm seeing some more names now. This is pretty tasty. You know, I've mentioned this before, and I'll just mention it again in case some of you haven't heard what I said. I used to be the person that put so much sweetener in my coffee. I had a little coffee with my sweetener or my sugar, you know, whatever kind of sweetener I was using. Now, I actually feel very often that sweetener, you know, syrup or any sort of sweetener, kind of spoils the taste of the coffee. So if you taste something and you don't like it, you know what? Your tastes can change. I have so much appreciated the true flavor of coffee, making it in these Nespresso machines, you know, under pressure, that, because that's, the machines make it either by spinning those capsules and coffee grounds around super fast in the Vertuo, or else actually under atmospheric pressure in the original line machine. That pressure brings out the flavor in the coffee like nothing else does. Oh, so delicious. Now, one thing that I do enjoy is shaking some sort of aromatic spice on top. So what would be, oh golly, you know what? I don't have any powdered vanilla, but close to vanilla is, okay, let's look down here. I've got ginger, cardamom, pumpkin pie spice, a couple other things down there, and cinnamon. Okay, I know better than to try to tap some out of here. I'll end up with half the bottle in my coffee. So I just get the tiniest little bit on the end of the spoon. If you don't have a shaker, just kind of tap the spoon. And I'm not going to stir it in, and I'll tell you why. Because your taste buds are also affected by what you smell. So Ah, when you bring this up to your face and you smell that cinnamon and then you take a taste of the coffee, it changes the way the coffee tastes. In this case, to me, it tastes richer and more flavorful. Now, you can stir in or kind of try to fold in the cinnamon, but as you might know, cinnamon, ginger, cardamom, and other finely powdered spices don't want to mix in real well. So you may end up with it staying on the top of the froth or sort of clinging to the sides of the glass, but some of it will. I don't know that it will dissolve as much as it will disperse into your drink. Better, I feel, to shake it and leave it on the top. By the way, there's one type of coffee I didn't cover this morning, and let me quickly cover it. It's called a Cafe Mocha, okay? What is mocha? So many people feel like, ooh, mocha. It's chocolate, okay? So you go ahead and you shake some chocolate on top or mix some chocolate syrup even into it. You got a Cafe Mocha right there. It's pretty simple. And the quantity of chocolate you put in, well, that's up to you. You might, though, want to use unsweetened or bittersweet chocolate so that you don't end up with just a whole lot of sweetening, which can change the flavor of your coffee. So, can you see there? We've got some, here, let me, even though I stirred in that cinnamon, look. A bunch of it's popped back up to the top again. And I still have some foamed milk in there. So you know what I'm gonna do? Because I love the flavor of that oat milk. In we go. Oh, yes. Since this forest almond is almost 8 ounces, actually 7.77 ounces, it can take a good bit of milk poured into it and still taste like coffee. Oh, this is very delicious. Well, look, I hope that you have a great day today and that in every area of life you think about and consider what your goals are and make choices that will carry you closer to your goals.